Hi guys, welcome back. 1884 Stitchery. I am McKenna. Don't mind my printer. I am back making a video. That means I am back from my vacation all summer. If you've been following me on my personal IG account, Stitching in Sequins, been all over. Cannot complain. It's been a wonderful summer of trips by myself, trips with the family. It's been great. So a couple days ago, we just got back from Colorado, and we stayed at the same place that we did last summer. The amazing cabin on like 400 acres, and you can just get lost, and no one is around, and it's quiet and it's peaceful, and the boys will love it. Joe loves it. It's a little different for me. Definitely a city girl, but it's nice driving up there because we take our side by side and we can just drive around and go anywhere we want. Yeah, it's just really nice time. Got a ton of stitching done while I was there, so I was happy that I had extra fabric and threads on hand because I was able to start a new project, and I just finished it about 30 minutes ago. Who am I? Stitching? I need to incorporate it more though. I've said this before. I need to incorporate stitching into my daily activity more and not do so much work. But 1884 is a lot of work that I absolutely love, so it's definitely worth it. Before we went to Colorado, we were in Alpine, Arizona for a few days. And before I was in Alpine for a few days, I was at the New Jersey retreat, Stitch NJ. You can find that group on Facebook. So Stitch NJ. Throat's going crazy. It is organized by Arlene Cohen, Works by ABC. If you're interested, head on over there and you can get all the information, sign up on a wait list when she's going to drop the next dates for next year. It's great. It's always a good time. I've attended every retreat that she has put on, and they're always so much fun, meeting new people and seeing new friends, and way too much laughing, crying, and yeah. So there's raffles and exchanges and door prizes. So this year at the smalls exchange, you do your definition of whatever a small is to you. This is what I received as a small. So it's a Doreen Jones, absolutely stunning, with Hardanger. Even on the back, it's amazing. Amazing piece. So I have these, my shelves here. I think I can just hang it right here. Let's see if it'll stay. It will. Look at that. Right there. I think that's a great place. So yeah, always a great time at Arlene's retreats. Any retreats, highly recommend. I know I've been getting a couple messages recently regarding Stitch Shenanigans. That's on my list of things to do, to figure out the dates and then get all that information out to you guys. So yeah, I feel like my lighting is really, it's a little darker. I have my ring light on. If we go one more, is it too much? No, I guess that's okay. I'm totally blinding my HR department, but I don't think they'll say anything. All right. Finishes, stitching. I have 4 of them. 4? Holy shit, McKenna, you're going back to the day where every time you did a FlossTube video, you had a finish? Yep, that's right. Hey, when you go on vacation all month, you better get some finishes in. I'm leaving again in 3 weeks. So I got to simmer down. Never. Okay. Let's go with, what should we start with? What I have in my hand. All right. Book of Spells, Good Housewife. Everyone loves it. People would give their, I don't know, first child for it, left leg, whatever. McKenna, can you bring back Good Housewife? I've tried. It's a no. So, I was stitching Book of Spells, and this was where I was at, because I have very few whips. So when I left for Colorado, 1, 2, 3 whips. That's all I had. 3 whips. One of them, Book of Spells. So as you can see, I got almost the whole first page, one side. So I took it with me because I thought, okay, haven't worked on it for a long time. Let's see if I can find my love for it. I threaded my needle and I was already feeling nope, nope. And no as in I'm not going to stitch it. No. Which I don't know why. I think because there's just, I don't know. I don't have a reason why I feel like I don't want to stitch it anymore. So my copy will be going up on 1884 sometime today. I don't know if I'll save this and do anything with it. I have no problem cutting it off and just tossing it. So yeah. So then I moved over to work on Elizabeth Pyle. This is from A Female Worth, which I own, only available on 1884 Stitchery. And I did change Elizabeth up. So I stitched her on gingerbread. I centered the big vase under the words, and then here and here there were supposed to be 2 more bouquets of flowers. Well, I was over stitching the bouquets, so Elizabeth Pyle and the year 1824 was under this table. I broke it up, Elizabeth Pyle, 1824. I did it 1/1 to match the writing up at the top, and I'm done with it. I'm calling it a finish. So I will see if I have a frame in my closet of frames that will work with this. Otherwise, I'm gonna take it to Michaels to get framed up. PDF paper copy 1884 of Female Worth. All right, so finished Elizabeth in Colorado, and when I was at the New Jersey retreat, you know, you talk to people, new people, old friends, people that you've never met before, and they come up and you just start going down these rabbit holes of conversations, asking me about 1884 and the things I do and all of that stuff. So when I was there, I had a conversation and someone told me that I am like the Joan of Arc for the cross stitch community. Now I said, I don't know about that. I said, but I know what I'm doing. The direction I'm taking 1884 is not like what anyone else is doing. So yes, in that fact, yes, 1884, me, like the Joan of Arc, right? So, came home from New Jersey and landed about noonish. No, because my flight was delayed. So I think I landed about 3 o'clock Arizona time, and then we were leaving the very next morning, 8 o'clock, to head out. And I knew I needed to take projects, right? And since I only had about 3 whips that I wasn't sure about, I needed to put together something new. So let me just show you the book. Our Latte Studio was the very first company that I was able to put under 1884. The last couple years of acquiring people's stashes and estates of cross-stitch stuff, I came across this book. Now, this was released, is still available through Nancy. You have to contact her directly. I would love to re-release this. In our deal, books were not in the thing. But it's hundreds of patterns graphed from medieval sources. Absolutely amazing. So birds and animals, imaginary creatures. So there's some like, you know, angels and dragons. Here, I'll just show you. Why not? So like, right, they're just great, quick and easy animals. So you have like a butterfly and a snail. So I was going through, there's people, bagpiper, right? And what I love about these designs is that you can just do the outline of these designs and you still get so much detail. You can clearly see what the image is. So I did that for Getting Up Again. A piece that I have here in my shelf with my buddies. And this is Ego Sum I Am. And I stitched this in 21. And all I did was the black outlined parts of the chart. And look at that detail, right? You can see the movement in kind of the dress cloth thing he's wearing, the hair detail, the foot detail, the flower. So I wanted to do that again. I just really love that look. So I was flipping through the book and she's going to be a person, came across, let's see, Joan of Arc. And they all say like where they came from. So like Joan of Arc, sketched by notary of the Paris Parliament, 15th century, right? Now, you could easily fill her in. That's totally fine. Here, this tapestry from Bavarian, 14th century, they're filled in certain spots. So, and you can also see on this regular, she has like an IHS. I omitted that. I stitched her on 40 count in red. So there's my Joan of Arc. And on the flag, I did a 1884. So yeah, I love her. So that was a quick finish. So I'll frame that up and stick her somewhere. So that was also a finish in Colorado in a couple of days. Then this was my new start in New Jersey. I wanted something simple. A handful of colors was fine. Something kooky. I had to. So, Clown Motel. A couple months ago, I stayed at the world famous Clown Motel in Tonopah, Nevada. Wonderful. I spent 2 nights there. It was fantastic. Oh my God, FedEx is here. What did I get? What did Joe order? I had to. So, did the letter A, and 35 count, freaking love how it came out. So yeah, there is my creepy clown A, and I like to think that I'm not much of a picker-outer, a frogger. I'm pretty good at marking off my chart and following along. It's very rarely that I have to unpick. I've never unpicked so much on a project, and probably the combined amount of picking that I've done in my whole stitching career was on this damn thing. So, but I figured it out, corrected it, and didn't fudge it. So yeah, I was happy that I was able to get that as is. Some of these clown positions, I mean, I think I love K the most. I think K is my letter. I mean, the beginning of the alphabet's fun, and then like towards the end, it just kind of gets boring. So, but yeah. Now I can't unsee clowns. I feel like I see clowns everywhere. I went thrifting while I was on vacation and I saw clowns. It was like a goddamn sign. I can't. So when I was done with those 3, we still had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days left. And I was like, shit. I'm not going to stitch, book of spells. I'm totally out of projects. I think I was having a moment. I was freaking out. So gave it a thought, and I realized on my phone I had scanned years ago some charts to myself to have them on hand just in case. I don't know what prompted me to do this. I think it was kind of like one of those, you go on vacation and you're not loving what you take. And I don't work off my phone. I work off a printed paper copy. So it was a little different. It was a little strange doing this pattern off of a phone because I couldn't mark it. Didn't have any problems with it, no issues. It was just weird working off of a screen rather than a piece of paper. So let's go back. Book of Spells. Knew I wasn't going to stitch it. Thank God I never cut the fabric, right? This is Lakeside Linen 40 count vintage lentil. So I had never cut it. And I knew, you know, Book of Spells probably, you know, I'd probably cut it here. So I just went to the other end, started, and like what I said, finished just right before I pushed play, record. This is Salem Village by the Primitive Needle. McKenna, can you get the Primitive Needle? As of right now, no. Loved the chart though. And look, I even did the double black frame. I think it was the elevation that made me do it. So I had to use the colors, thread colors that I had on hand, because obviously I wasn't home, and I absolutely loved. So I sort of followed along. I wanted the Salem Village 1692 to be the only time that I used it. It's a terracotta from Weeks. The houses, I did the one in the middle solidly stitched, and then the other ones I did long stitches on whatever the majority of the color would be. I don't know. I wanted, one, cheating. Two, I thought it just added sort of like, it looks like wood grain or those like wood panels, just to add some sort of like textural element to the piece. So yeah, love the little devil too. So yeah, there's my Salem Village. So I am quite pleased with, not quite pleased, I'm floored by the amount of stitching and finishing that I've been able to get done. So with those 4 finishes, not going to be continuing with Book of Spells. The only whip that I have right now is Ink Circles. I forget what this is called. Another Year Creeps By. It's a 12 blocks. I've seen very, very few people stitch it. And I've been stitching the whole thing all together. I believe this is Tobacco 22 count Hardanger. 1/1, which I know sounds weird, sounds crazy. The coverage is like perfect. So this is where I'm at. And I'm still going on it. Still going on it. I actually took this to New Jersey as well in case I got the clown done. And I was like, oh, well, I'll do like the back border, right? I was up in my room one night. I'll do the back border. Yeah, didn't have that freaking color in my bag. I must have, you know, taken it out to use on another project. So I was like, shit. So that sort of, I was like, all right, back in the bag. Never mind. Not going to work on it. I still do like it though. And I think I like it because not everyone is stitching it. I've not seen anyone else stitch it. Maybe 1 or 2 people. So that is what is, you know, still keeping my interest on it. But that's it. That's my only freaking whip. You want a mid-year, some people are coming out with mid-year whip parades. Boom, mine's done. So I need to find something else to stitch, and that was going to be on my to-do list for either today or tomorrow. Okay, so that's all the stitching. Let's talk about things that I bought while thrifting when I was gone. Popped into a little boutique shop. Loved this frame that she had painted this kind of minty color. Can easily, oh, my Joan of Arc. Oh, too small. But yeah, bought that. And then I was noticing so we were outside of the town of Dolores. I think the area is called Duncan. But Doris is about 45 minutes away. That's like the biggest town. So you'd have to go 45 minutes into town if you wanted anything, grocery store, and it was like, you know, small town grocery store. So I went in the second to last day we were there and wanted to hit up some of the thrift stores. Joe has no interest, neither do the boys. So I drove the 45 minutes into town, and I was noticing the couple times we had passed through town that people had up, like, in their front yards, like, free stuff with an arrow pointing to, like, a box of stuff. So I hit those homes when I was coming into town by myself. And I'm a sucker for old vintage books. I think it's the smell. So I found one for Madame Curie. Yeah. It's from 1937. And it's really fun because there's actually writing in it. Someone had written in it. They're like notes. There's pictures in here. Family photos. So yeah, I just really thought that was cool. So picked that up. And then I stopped at another house and they had 2 huge boxes of these Reader's Digest books. And I think they're just fun. The colors. So I only picked these 3 because I really liked the outside paper cover on them. It's kind of floral. And then this one. So, but then I feel like some of the titles are kind of perfect for me. Evil Come, Evil Go. Oh, there's a Madame Curie one in here. Devil, Water. The Devil's Advocate. It's perfect. I also love to decorate with old books. And they got the smell, so bonus. Went into the main thrift store. Actually went in there twice, back to back. And she was floored to see me the next day when I came in. So the first go around, I had purchased from her. And this stuff was reasonably priced. I find that smaller towns, when you go thrifting or antiquing, are a little more appropriate in their pricing than when you're in a bigger town, who just price gouge. So I found this bowl. This is a Taylor Smith Taylor bowl. You can find the whole, you know, set online. Gold, you know, decoration on the inside. But if you look, it is set up like cross stitch. So I saw that. Now it doesn't like, you look at it and it's like, oh, there's an X on the green. No, but the background, you can see where it's not quote unquote stitched, has the grid, and they're not, you know, stitched. So I saw this and purchased that. Under the cabinet, which I could have spent hours in these cabinet drawers, was this. And I saw this and I was like, oh my God, is that petite point? Love it. So this is I looked up some dates, 1920s, if not earlier, dance bag. Hello, dance bag. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, sadly, it does have a little wear here, but the flowers are stitched. This amazing chain, and then and then on the back there was a covering at some point, but obviously it's no longer there, because when I did research, usually just some like satin backing, nothing special. So you push this and it opens up, and the mirror is still intact, and then little powdering, so you can go powder your nose in the bathroom, because you didn't need your ID or your vape or your credit cards or cash. You just needed your dance purse. How fantastic is that? So yeah, absolutely stunning. The detail on it, love. Has all of its stones. Gorgeous. And then I had bought 3, let's see if I can pull out the exact ones. Oh, they're right here on top. Done. So, found some tin type photographs. Now, if you don't know what tin type photographs are, they were photographs taken like, they were popular like 1850s to like 1910, 1920s. These ones are definitely 19th century, based on haircut, clothing style, stuff like that. So I wanted some tin types. And what are interesting about tin types, the images are actually printed on the tin reverse. You had to stay super, super still. Otherwise it looked, you know, like a ghost, like washed. And so you can see more of that on children. And I have one I'll show you, because kids just aren't going to hold still when this photograph is being taken. So I put them all in these protective rigid card holders, to protect them and make them last a little longer. So, I know the glare is horrible. I purchased him. I loved the kind of crackly, I mean, it's like, you can see it's like all bent, and rusted, because it is tin. But I thought he looked handsome. And then, so I was like, he needs to come home with me. And then I thought she looked fancy. Look at this. She's got her shawl on, right? You know that shawl's handmade. I mean, it was all handmade, but you know, she just looked fancy. Come home with me. I thought she looked judgmental. She was judgy. So why not come home with me? So took those home. And the boys are like, of course, Mom, you bought dead people photos. And I said, well, they're not post-mortem photographs. That's a whole different thing. I don't have any of those. I hope to someday. And I said, well, yeah, now they're dead, but the time of taking the photos, they're not dead. So Joe's good friend, Adam, he loves antiquing. He loves old shit like me. I message him and he's like, you big dummy, why didn't you buy them all? You guys know how I am. If I buy something, I'm buying all of it, right? I'm buying all the Dovo scissors at Nashville. I'm buying all the charts from somebody. I'm buying the whole cross-stitch store, right? Kicking myself all night. So I was like, F it. I'm going to go back. So went into town. That's the day I went into town by myself. And the owner was surprised to see me back. And she's like, oh, yeah, can I help you with something? And I was like, yeah, actually, I want all the tintypes. She's like, all of them? I'm like, yeah, the whole stack. So I have 20-some 20-some tintypes. Joe's like, Jesus, is this like your new thing? Maybe. But they're just amazing. Look at her. I bet she's got stories to tell. She's fantastic. So here's an example of a child one. And her face is kind of blurred. Her hair, you know, like look at her eyes. Because she just didn't hold still. But, I mean, what are you gonna get? Then I was going through these. Father-son, right? Father-son photo, fantastic. Then I'm looking, I'm like, holy shit, that's the son. What is the chance that I have 2 tintypes and not only father-son photo, but then just the son by himself? Love that. I think my favorite ones are these that have like the little, they're in the paper cards. And this one was the only one that has the kind of sticker on the back. F.S. Hooker, photographic artist, Addison, New York. Frames in all variety, both plain and ornamental, oval and square. Pictures of all kinds, copied, enlarged, or reduced. So that is the only one. But I have 4 of those total that are still in kind of like the original sleeves. I have couples. Now this is interesting. They are both wearing like ribbons on their chest. So that would be really interesting to know. But yeah. Small, tiny one. There's a tiny one. Tintype. So yeah, I peeled the stickers off the back using a tweezers, and then used a microfiber cloth to wipe the front of the photograph and then slid it in. So now they are protected, and I got 20 new instant relatives that are all dead, and I'll add them to my... I need someone to come in, not Sage. I want someone to come in and do a Ouija board in my office and see what kind of stuff we can get. I've never saged. I've only had weird feelings with Oscar here, and then after I named him, it all went away. Like stuff falling off these shelves. Happened 2 times. I didn't jump on the sofa. I hadn't just rearranged the stuff. Never since I named him. So then when I bought all the tintypes, then I purchased this. This is an 1856 William Harding photo album. Look at this like embossing on the sides. Look at that. And it does not have, the little girl tintype was in here and I took her out. But what's in here are, they're called trading cards. These are basically fancy business cards from sales people that would go door to door back in the day. So if there were medicinal, or this one here is about stoves, right? So then on the back side, it talks all about the stove, the different sizes, square top, Yankee top, swing hearth, slide level with hearth, braced covers, tin lined oven doors, damper, reservoir damper, heat water and reservoir. So there's this whole book is just full with them. What I loved were these ladies here, Asian ladies, yeah. So, I mean, you can see that these are so like vibrant with their colors because they've been stored in here. But it's a Clark's advertisement spool cotton. So I want to take these out of here and display them. Some of them are even medical. So I pulled out 3 of the medical ones and put in these cards, but some of them go a little bit higher than the card. So I need to see if I can find larger rigid covers. But yeah, this one is for Dr. Jane's cough or cold. And basically, you know, whooping cough and consumption and asthma, throat, sore throat, bronchial. But I mean, it was just all fake medicinal stuff. Dr. Thomas electric oil. And I looked up one of these. I looked all 3 of them up to see kind of the background. And one of them, the whole bottle, it was like turpentine and something else. I mean, not things you should be ingesting. This one is compliments of David R. Greger, druggist, dealer of all kinds of drugs, medicines. Hammond, New York. And then it was an advertisement for Bocce's German syrup and Green's August Flow. So it talks about each of them. But yeah, they are called trading cards. So I definitely want to take them out of this album for them to be displayed a little better. But I need to decide how, or I'll just leave them like this way. So, okay, what else? That's it. Okay, let's talk. If you're still with me, is anyone still with me? Let's talk about 1884 goodness. If you are not signed up for my newsletter, you can go over to 1884stitchery.com, scroll down to the bottom, put in your information. I try to send out a newsletter about every month with discounts that I'm doing, new inventory, new releases. So I released a new newsletter the other day advertising 1 yard cuts of fabric from Grace Notes Fabric. Absolutely wonderful. I've had their fabric before available on 1884. They were a vendor. So Arlene in New Jersey had, for the first time, a vendor room, which was absolutely amazing. So I brought some of my goodies. She had a pop-up shop. There were project bags, needle minders, and Grace Notes came and had a whole slew of their fabric. So at the end, when they were wrapping things up, I went over and was like, I want to take some of these home to make available on 1884. Let's do 1 yard cuts. Because there are people that sometimes do want a yard cut. So as of right now, I have 7 one cut fabric slices. I have 1 yard cuts of fabric from from Grace Notes Fabric. You can go online and check those out. I keep looking at them. The colors are absolutely amazing. I will give that about a week. And then after that, I will pull them and then I will cut them into smaller cuts. So if you are looking for 1 yard cuts, go check that out. Snatch them up. I'll give it about a week and then I'll take them down. And then I haven't decided how I'm going to cut them up to make them into smaller cuts. And then I'll advertise those. I also advertised in the newsletter 2 new charts that I released. So first up, Anne Martin, 1808. Some of you guys may be looking at this and saying, that looks familiar. This was originally published under On Diligence. So this is an image of the actual piece in the Worcester Art Museum from 1808. Absolutely gorgeous PDF, paper copy. It's a stunner. The other one is Jane Woodward, 1822. Fantastic as well. I have a ton of, okay, not a ton, exaggerating. I have maybe 6 or 7 charts waiting in the wings to be released. Macintosh samplers, threads of gold. I think I have another, a female worth. Yeah. So, lots of goodness coming. I think that is all I have to tell you guys. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for the continued support for 1884 Stitchery. If it wasn't for you guys, it wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. I'd be doing videos, but 1884 would definitely not be what it is. Yeah, so trying to wrap up some big things by the end of the year, fingers crossed. And yeah, questions, comments, concerns, any issues, good or bad, put them down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much, and you guys will see me soon. Bye.